too early in the morning to be doing a cooking video, but here I am. Welcome to my kitchen, the Queen's Curry Kitchen. I am Nupur. I'm a cookbook chef and an author and the owner of a meal delivery company and a spice manufacturing company right here in New York called the Queen's Curry Kitchen. So today I found out that a friend of mine actually had a little bit of an accident and she broke her foot. She has two small kids and they are a gluten-free and vegan family. So I'm just making some lunch for her, and before her husband goes to work, I want to make sure that he can come and pick it up, drop it off at home, and then he can do whatever he needs to do. So this is going to be really quick, but I'm going to show you two dishes side by side that I'm going to make at the same time. The third one is already done, and I yet have to boil some quinoa for her, which I've soaked actually right over there in the back. So without any further ado, let's get started. Also, I posted an okra and potato picture on Facebook and Instagram just recently, a couple of days ago, and a lot of you have asked how to make this crazy vegetable called okra. So we are going to do that. I'll show you that right now. So let's jump right into it and make it together. So you'll be seeing two pots, two pans. We will be making the okra in here, and we will be making the bottle gourd in here. I'm just going to adjust the placement of it so you can see them really well. Alrighty. So I'll start with the okra first. Going to wear an apron. Yes. Okay. So I'm doing this in an Instapot, but you can absolutely do this on a stovetop, in a pressure cooker, whatever you got. Okay. So make sure your pan is really, really hot. This is set to saute mode or sear mode, whatever you have. In goes some oil. And okra is one vegetable which actually needs a lot of oil so that it's not slimy. If you're not a fan of the slimy texture of okra, I will tell you some tips and tricks that you can follow to make okra one of your favorite vegetables. So the oil is nice and hot right now. So this, the first thing I'm going to add, and I use a lot of semi-homemade store-bought help in some of my cooking. So this is crisp fried onions, and these are already pre-fried. They come in a bag and you get them easily at an Indian grocery store. You can also get fried shallots if you're in a Thai store or a Chinese supermarket. So I've cut the okra, cleaned off the tops and the tips, and I've got some potatoes as well. See how thinly sliced they are? You want them to cook at the same time, right? So you don't want them to be too thick. And at no point is this dish going to be completely covered. So we have to make sure that it can cook almost like a stir fry on high heat. We will be covering it partially, and I'll show you the trick of how to do that, and I'll tell you the reason why we do that. Okay, so this is one little guy that escaped my knife. So right now the heat is medium to high, and give it just a gentle mix. So this is about a pound of okra, and I've used almost an entire item of potato cut into little small slices. You can also cut them into matchstick or shoestring size. That works really well. Now when all the oil is coated on top of the okra, you're going to go ahead and add some fried onions. I know a lot of people who use pre-fried onions in all their Indian cooking. I don't really do that, but you can. I mean, I guess it prevents your house from smelling up. So that's why a lot of people like the convenience of it. There's mine. So meanwhile, this is the pan for the bottle gourd is also getting really hot. I'm just going to give this a quick toss. Increase the heat to high. Just trying to incorporate everything. Meanwhile, let's get started with this. Into the hot oil, the first thing that goes is some cumin seeds. If you've ordered this masala box from the Queen's Curry Kitchen website, you should have all these spices with you. But I'll tell you the individual names of the spices that I will be using along the way. So you'll see that the cumin is actually beginning to crackle a little bit. When that happens, we're going to give it a gentle stir. gonna add some curry leaves to this. But this is totally on the fly. So I do have some curry leaves. Now curry leaves really don't have any substitution in flavor. So if you don't have them, I guess just use asafoetida and some ginger to get a nice flavor going. So give it a quick stir. The first thing that goes, smells so good as soon as it hits the hot oil. When it's hot enough, then add, this is 1.5 tomato, fresh tomato. So this dish I always make with fresh tomatoes as opposed to tomato puree. If it's not tomato season and they're not that ripe and they're not imparting a good color, then perhaps maybe I'll use a combination of both. But for the most part, I use fresh tomatoes. So we give it a few seconds, and again I'll tell you the trick with tomatoes. The minute you add tomatoes, add your entire salt for the dish right on there. And what that does is it helps to break down the tomatoes. I also add some turmeric, some paprika, coriander powder, garam masala, curry powder. Meanwhile, this is getting sauteed and it's getting nicely coated with the oil. Into this, I'm going to add salt to taste. I'm using sea salt. You can use any salt of your liking. Some turmeric, about 1/2 teaspoon. Now, coriander powder in an okra dish is really something that you put a lot of because it also prevents the okra from sticking to the bottom of your pan. So about 2 of these teaspoons of coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. I don't use heat, but if you like heat, you can use cayenne pepper instead of paprika. A hint of garam masala and 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder. I'm going to give this a stir. So basically I have to wait for all the tomatoes to break down and almost come to a paste-like consistency. And for this, I'm just going to give it a good toss. Mix it well. As soon as the hot oil and the spices come together, you'll see it's extremely aromatic. You can turn down your heat just a little bit so your spices won't burn. And you see it's kind of pretty dry right now, so I don't want it to sweat. So I'm going to add a little more oil. I'm using light olive oil, which I use for all of my cooking. But you can use whatever oil you have at home. So just combine it well. And then take the heat back up to medium. Okay, now the trick to making okra and not having it slimy is to actually put a cover on it. But here's the trick. When you cover the okra, just cover it halfway. Not completely, just halfway. So that it'll not get the chance to form the droplets on top. When those droplets form and go back into the okra, it makes it slimy. So whenever you make okra, cover it halfway. Keep your heat to between medium and high. Right now it's exactly at medium. Okay, so coming back to the bottle gourd, I'm going to give this a good stir. I'm going to try to get into the comments and see what you are saying. Because of the camera angles, I'm unable to see it. Hi, Sweater Jana. Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Sushma ji, welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Elise Williams, Ashfaq, welcome. And thank you for joining me this morning in my kitchen as I whip up these couple of things. I'm going to show you what I already made. Let me see if I can get the camera to show you what it is. So I have cauliflower with potato that's already been done. That's the bottle gourd, that's all chopped up. Hector Perez, welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. Thank you for joining me on this morning adventure as I'm trying to cook a quick lunch for my friend. We are making bottle gourd with potato curry. And here we have okra with potato. This is more of a stir-fry dry dish. So keep an eye on this. You'll be able to see. Asha Jain, welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. Keep an eye on this. You'll be able to see that it's almost forming a paste-like consistency. So right now my Instapot is set to sear mode or saute mode. If you're doing this on the stove top, you would be doing the same thing in a pressure cooker. Not much of a difference there. And I've already prepped my bottle gourd. I've cut it into pieces that are about this big. I've peeled it, trimmed off the top, and then the potato for this has to be a little bit big, because the potato is the thing that's going to add the texture to your vegetable, to your curry dish in this case. Okay, this is a water-based vegetable, so it releases a lot of moisture, but I'm already making a curry dish, so it will be watery, but the potatoes will add the texture, they will add the creaminess to this dish. I sometimes also like to add lentil dumplings to my bottle gourd, and it tastes really good. I have one last potato that I'm preparing. I'll get back in there in just a minute. Now, one thing that pairs really well with the tomato broth of this bottle gourd is hing or asafoetida. If you've never used it, it's a great substitute for ginger, garlic, and it's a great aromatic. So if you don't feel like using ginger or garlic or onions, this is just a really, really nice aromatic substitute. And it also comes under the category of sattvic foods. So if you have religious observances due to which you don't eat garlic or onions, this is a great substitute. I hope y'all are not getting blinded by all the steam that is kicking up. Okay, so now you see this is almost like at a paste-like consistency. Yeah, gonna just stir it on for a few minutes more. Gonna jump back into the okra. Take a minute and tell me where you're tuning in from. Let's see how far Queen's Curry Kitchen and Indian food lovers are residing in this world. I would love to know where you're tuning in from. Okay, now I'll just bring this closer to you so you can see how the okra is kind of crisping up. The onions are crisping up. So you have to keep stirring it from time to time, but then again, always the cover has to be halfway open. You can see that there's already some slime. You see that? If you had put the cover all the way through, then it would be completely slimy and you wouldn't be able to toss it together like you're able to do it right now. Okay? So just a quick toss. And I'm using a cast iron wok from that I bought at an Asian supermarket. But you can use any kind of non-stick pan or whatever you have. And this is not even the cover for this. So that's quite a problem. Let's see what I can find. Okay, I'm going to put my favorite cover, which is actually a frying pan, and I'm going to put it halfway. Right there. So it helps to preserve the heat, keep it in, but halfway is open for all the moisture to actually evaporate. Okay, I've turned up the heat to medium. Just don't want anything sticking to the bottom of the pan. So this is almost done. You can see it's pretty pasty, and some of the oil pellets have floated to the top, so you know that your masala or the base for your curry is actually ready. When the oil pellets float to the top, you know that's a great hint that things are going as per plan. Now, I think it needs a little more. Okay. The next step to happen here is in goes all the vegetables, the bottle gourd, the potato. I also recently did a video on how to add protein to any curry dish. If you haven't seen it, go to the last Facebook Live that I did. There's a very simple trick using chickpea flour that tells you how to add protein to any dish and create instant dumplings in the simmering broth. Do not miss that. It's a lot of fun and the dish came out really good. So I'm doing this with bottle gourd, but just an FYI, you can do this with any vegetable which is from the zucchini family. All of that zucchini, squash, it responds really well to this recipe. I'm going to give it a good stir. I will taste it for salt. It's perfectly seasoned. And I'm going to go back and add some water to it. I have some cilantro, which is here. And I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this. You don't have to sear the vegetables. The only thing you needed to come together was the tomatoes, which is already done. So for 1 bottle gourd and 1.5 Idaho potatoes, I've added about 16 and 4, about 22 ounces of water. Okay, I'm going to give it a good stir. Just see that everything is well incorporated. And then it's time to put the lid on this. And I'm going to go into manual mode and cook this for about 7 minutes. That should be enough. Now I can actually walk away from this, do other things, which is why I like to work on this, because I don't have to babysit my food. Okra, however, needs a lot more attention than any other vegetable. So we are going to keep a close eye on it. You see it's catching the bottom and it's turning crispy. So there's a very fine line between it being crisp. Like, look, it's crisp. And then the next stage is going to be that it's going to burn. So you have to really keep a close watch on your okra. I'm going to turn the heat to a little bit lower than it was before. And you can see as it is cooked out, all the slime has disappeared. These are individually standing pieces of okra. Nothing is slimy, nothing is stretchy, and nothing is glopping around to its neighbor, right? So each piece is individually standing. So in the Indian supermarket, you'll get 2 kinds of okra. One is called the Desi okra, D-E-S-I, which is this, which is more of a green color, and the okra is a lot more slender. Okay, and then there's the American one, which I think comes from California. And that's a little thicker, but it's also lighter green. So this is kind of like that fresh green. Also, when you don't cover your vegetables all the way, they do retain some of their color. So it's a nice fresh green. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the potato looks like and if we're able to cut it or not cut it. So this is, I'm using the back of the knife so that I'm not using the sharpness to give me any advantage or to create any false conclusion that the potato is indeed cooked. So I'm using the back of the knife, I'm pressing gently, and there is a certain give to it, but I think it needs a couple of more minutes. And try not to overcook your okra, which is why we put potatoes in a lot of dishes where when the potato is cooked, you know that your dish is done. Because the accompanying vegetable ideally has a lesser cooking time. So you cut the vegetables a little bit small and you cut the potatoes a little bit bigger so that both cook at the same time. And it's really indeed a skill to know what kind of potato shape will go in what kind of vegetable. Well, of course, if you take a class with me, whether you're an intermediate, beginner or advanced level student, you will learn all these tips and tricks on how to know these basics in an Indian kitchen. All the information for the classes is on queenscurrykitchen.com, and this week I'm offering a lot of classes because I have some free time. I'm waiting for my inspection in my production facility, so I certainly have a lot of extra time. So the heat right now is still between medium and low. I don't want it to get burnt. So let me just quickly show you what I made before. This is cauliflower with potato. And I've added ginger, I've added cumin, I've added turmeric. And then it's just tossed together. I do add some water as I go along because I don't like to depend on oil to steam my vegetables. In goes the final finishing touch, which is the cilantro. So this is what it looks like. And it's going to find its place in a box so that my friend can enjoy it for the next couple of days, and then maybe after a couple of days I'll make her some more food, right? Okay, so let me say a quick hello to Hector, who's watching from Florida. Welcome. Okay, I love Florida. I was there for the Pensacola Vegan Festival. I absolutely loved it in Gulf Breeze. Oh my god. I know that my time was really short there, but if I ever go back, I'm definitely going back by the water's edge. It was the greatest feeling. We also have Elise, who is tuning in from Dalton, Illinois. Hello, Elise. And Andy Scales is watching. Harry Campbell is watching. So welcome to all of you. If you have any specific Indian food related questions, you can always drop them in the comments below, or you can also send me a private message after the fact. Thank you, Sushma ji. She says the cauliflower looks really good. So you're a very good cook yourself. So if you are saying that it looks good, I consider that my honor and a privilege to be able to share that with you. Me today, Kamo Nacho. Welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. We are making okra with potato, and we just finished putting the bottle gourd with potato into the Instapot. Hillary is from London. Yeah, the Queen is in the house. So why don't I just talk in a British accent? If you have any problem, oh well, London is supposed to be the curry capital of the world. Isn't that right? Me too. Isn't that right, Harry? Well, Hillary, I'm just being a little silly. But anyway, so these vegetables are doing really well. I'm going to jump and get cracking on the quinoa. I do actually give it a ghee and peanut tempering. So if you want to stick around for that, I'm going to do it in another live video. I just feel like this is going to get too lengthy. But I'm going to jump around and make the quinoa. If you are really interested in seeing how I give it that Indian twist with ghee and peanuts and make it really yummy and Indian-ish, then do come back. The live notification should go there. If you haven't liked the page, you may not get the live notification. So do like or follow the page so that every time Queen's Curry Kitchen is live, you will know that you can always join me. And I'm going to welcome you with open arms in my kitchen. So I really wish that you were all here so I could feed you this yummy food. I hope it's yummy. At least that's what everybody tells me. I just know that I put a lot of love in it, and I'm happy to bring these flavors to you. I think this okra is calling my name. Where is my... Oh, there it is. Okay, so you know what? Let me just show you the progress on this so far. Since you've been patient around. Before I go, let me just show you the progress on this. Now I'm going to put the heat to all the way high. All of my potatoes are cooked. And now when I crank up the heat, what's going to happen is all the oil from this okra that I put is going to separate. So I will be able to actually use a slotted spoon and lift everything out. Okay, I will check for salt in just a minute. And how you do that is you just pick up a fleck from the side of your ladle and you can taste it. So the potatoes being starchy always absorb most of the soil and soil. No, we're not growing anything. The potatoes absorb most of the salt, and so you don't want your okra to be kind of bland against the potatoes. So I have to just give it a little bit of a hint. Now if you've gone to this stage and your potatoes are still slimy, and your okra is still looking slimy, if this dish looks like it's not coming together like mine is, each one is individually standing free without any slime, right? So right now my heat is up between medium and high. If you get to this stage and you still feel like it's slimy, then I'll tell you a simple trick that you can use. And it also enhances the taste, it also helps to preserve the green color. This is your best friend, honey. You can use fresh lemon juice, you can use bottled lemon juice. Just take a little bit of that and stick it right in there. That's it. And it'll take care of the slime. It'll cut through all of the slime and give your okra a beautiful texture. It'll help to prevent the discoloration. Right in the very end, I like to add some garam masala. And when I plate it, I'm going to add some ginger juliennes. So that's about it. Okay. If you decide to come back to me with the next live that I do with the quinoa, and I am going to give it a ghee tempering with peanuts, then I'll also be able to show you what the bottle gourd looks like. But if you can't do that, I'm still very thankful for the time that you decided to spend with me. I know it's way too early in the morning and nobody's thinking about lunch, but you know what? Before you know it, the hunger pangs will creep in and you will be like, what's for lunch? What's for dinner? So this is great. I'm going to help out my friend. I hope that she likes this food, and her children absolutely love what I make. So I'm happy about that. Definitely join me in another one. Shimona is watching. Shimona di, hi. Welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. Kemon acho? Asha kori tumi bhalo acho and you're enjoying some North Indian dishes. Come over anytime if you'd like to get a taste. Devashish Roy, Mama Ji, welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. I am making bhindi aloo and I'm making lauki ki sabzi. So those were the two dishes that I just made. I will come back with the quinoa video. If you have any specific questions regarding your curry Q&As or Indian cooking in general, or vegan Indian cooking, or plant-based, or you're just trying to eat healthier with more plant-based options, definitely follow this channel. You can always send me a message with your specific questions and I am happy to answer them for you. Deepak Arora ji, namaskar, welcome to Queen's Curry Kitchen. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आप ये लजीज खाने खा तो नहीं सकते, लेकिन देख कर ज़रूर खुश हो रहे होंगे. So anyway, with that I'm going to say goodbye. I will see you again very soon in the next one, because I'm going to make the quinoa video. Stay tuned to Queen's Curry Kitchen and you will get all the updates. Until then, you can check out the website, get the spices, get the book, see the recipes that are out there, www.queenscurrykitchen.com. So with that, all the lovers of Indian food out there and everybody who decided to support me and share their morning with me, I am thankful, I am blessed. Be blissful and flavorful. I will catch you soon, very soon, in the next one. Until then, goodbye.